giving everybody a chance to come on in and get settled. Just finished a great workout. I will kill this music in just a minute. Enjoy my workout playlist. What's up, my friends? Friends, strangers, all are welcome. So I have been absolutely MIA for over a month, honestly. I haven't posted a single thing in over a month. Basically, I kind of, it's a little bit of being busy and just kind of needing a break, you know? Not that I post as much as plenty of people do, but you know, when you're always kind of feeling the pressure of got to get a post in, or, you know, got to keep something, I don't know. I haven't put my workouts down. I haven't changed anything that I'm doing in my personal life. I just haven't been on YouTube. So anyway, I am ready to kind of gear back up, and I have several great ideas for what I can bring to you guys for content. Would love to hear your feedback on that always. But basically, I have, let me start with the fact that this has been a very active year for me. I've traveled several times this year. There's just been, you know, even more going on in my social life. And I have given in to those. And for that reason, I did not make my cut goals. You know, so when I was going live in the spring, I was starting to cut from when I had been, you know, in a calorie surplus earlier in the year and lifting heavy, and actually lifting heavier progressively than I probably ever have consistently, with extra calories included. So, you know, it was unfortunate, honestly, that I didn't reach those goals, but let me tell you something. I didn't reach them because I made a decision. And I want to encourage you guys, as I'm encouraging myself, to realize that if you make the decision to indulge in your social life, which I thoroughly enjoy, my friends. I have a big friend group, a big social circle, and we are always doing something super fun. And I kind of just made the decision that I wanted to have balance in my life. You know, there's nothing wrong with balance. I am not a professional bodybuilder, obviously. I have not, you know, I don't have a desire to do anything professional, a professional level, like bodybuilding or anything like that. What I am is an average, everyday 51, almost 52-year-old who is essentially refusing to just give in to the status quo. You know, in this country, a lot of, you know, people, you know, not judging everyone, but I'm just saying I don't want to fall into the habits and the patterns of eating super rich food and being sedentary. That's an unfortunate problem with, you know, countries that are very well off. You know, it's not just the United States, it happens everywhere. So anyway, you've got to make a decision for yourself that you got to have balance. You know, if you're, you know, or be you know, super driven and very strategic all the time in your diet and your working out. For me, I have decided that I would like to live a balanced life. So I definitely need to be very careful to still eat nutritious and clean 80% of the time, and, you know, keep the workouts up. That's non-negotiable. I think that it's non-negotiable for everybody, but especially women that are perimenopause or menopause or postmenopause, like myself. I am definitely right there in the center of that, and you know, got bone density issues, which I've told you guys about. But even if you don't have thinning bones, you're not the genetic type to be predisposed for, you know, that sort of thing. You know, basically, anytime you don't lift weights and, you know, be active in general, but lifting in particular, your tissues will start to deteriorate. You know, women start to lose, I can't remember right now off the top of my head, but there's a percentage of muscle that women lose every year after 40. So lifting will always be a priority in my life. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make here in my very wordy way is that I am owning the fact that I chose to have a social life and still keep up my workouts. I am going to tighten up my discipline though between now and September because I have a cruise with one of my oldest best friends, and she and I are gonna have like the first like really girls trip of this nature we've ever done, and it's gonna be super fun. But you know how it is. I'm gonna be in a bikini. I want to look my best. So, what am I gonna do uh, to improve myself and still have balance? Well, let me tell you. I'm going to basically during the week, I'm going to be extra strict on, my protein intake and lower carbs, but not super low carbs. I personally don't feel like that is good for me. I don't want to go extremely low carbs, and I'll definitely never go zero carbs. I'm gonna just essentially taper my carbs back. I might even do what's it called, carb cycling, where you do a moderate day and a low day and kind of do that up and down throughout the week. That might be a good way to handle it. But essentially, I think that super low carbs give me brain fog and just make my workouts more difficult. Difficult isn't bad, but if you can't really go as hard because you're super tired, I kind of feel like it defeats the purpose. You can have carbs, just make them healthy carbs. I don't have any intolerances, so I can eat bread. I'm not against like wheat bread or whatever, but basically I stay away from pasta, even rice, but brown rice is actually fine. I just want to spend my carbs other ways. So I really love fruit. I will eat especially a lot of blueberries. Watermelon is actually my tip-top favorite fruit, but pretty much I'll eat any fruit. And I eat a lot of it, vegetables for sure. I'm a big green eater. But occasionally I'll do some other complex carbs, such as wheat bread, and occasionally I'll do some brown rice or wheat bread and just make sure it's actually wheat. But focusing in on protein. And then on the weekend, I'm not going to do like a free-for-all, but I will just be honest and say that I enjoy all of the things that you can imagine that a person might indulge in at parties, or concerts or things of that nature. And so I'm going to do that, and then just get back to an ultra strict strategic diet Monday through Friday. And then as I get closer to the cruise, I may go a little bit even a little bit more strict as far as the weekends. So I've only really got 3 weeks until this cruise, so maybe actually 4 weeks. I think I have 4 weeks. So anyhow, I'll probably check in with you guys on Wednesdays. Now, one thing I meant to mention a minute ago when I was saying, that I own my decision to have the balance in my life and not go, super strict on myself. So, if you have goals that you're trying to reach, and, you make a decision to go to an event or have a dish or whatever it is that you decide to do, just don't beat yourself up about it afterwards. Just own it. Realize that, you're not a victim of anything, and you don't have to feel, bad and beat yourself up. Just own it. Just like if you did go strict and you go to a party and you don't eat any of the food that they have, you don't drink any alcohol, you don't need to feel sorry for yourself, because you're going to own that too. You're going to own the fact that you are trying to reach goals and being strict. So anyway, I'm just saying, I don't feel bad about myself, and I'm not a victim of some kind, like, oh, I can't reach my goals, what's wrong with me? No, it's fine. I wanted to do the things that I did, and I'm still killing it in the gym. So I feel like that's a decent balance in my life. And, maybe you agree, maybe you don't. Depends on what, your goals are in life. If you want to, if you have something specific that you're trying to reach, like, a photo shoot, or, maybe you're in some kind of other world where, your body sculpting of your body is more important than it is for me, then, by all means, not judging you if you want to go hard. I'm just saying that I'm a average everyday woman whose goal is really just to be the strongest, healthiest, and hey, if I can look decent, that's a nice side benefit. The best I can do, and I'm gonna always chase that vitality and what's left of my youth. Anyway, and I hope you're interested in doing that too. Like, you're an average everyday person like myself, I mean, I'm not extraordinarily strong or extraordinarily built, but I'm chasing it, I'm learning, and just basically wanting to share that with you guys. So what's coming up for Michelle's Body Shop? What can you expect from this channel? Well, of course, I'm going to continue to post workout examples and, share things that I have found interesting in my journey along the way, how-tos and stuff like that. But there's a couple of things that are really cool. So last time I went live, I think I told you that I was planning to make some really great changes in my gym. And building your home gym is one of the segments that I'm going to start posting about, because I have a few things that I need to build. They're not super complicated, but, it's something that I have to put together. I just have to break out the tools, toolbox. But you may even notice, if you're really familiar with my channel, that this machine is sitting a little bit closer to my toolbox mural. And that's because I have already done the first major step in changing this gym. And it's taken me a while because, like I said, I've been so busy, been traveling the whole 9 yards. But I'm not going to show you yet, because right now things are rearranged, but it's really super crazy and chaotic in here. But oh man, I can't wait to show you a before and after. I am very excited. I have some really big pieces of equipment, and some of it is fairly new, and it was just really just taking up every space, and I couldn't really film exercises in here like I was because of just all the big equipment, which I've been blessed with, and I love it. But now I have figured out a way and got rid of a few things that were not gym related, and I figured out a way to arrange everything in here so that it's really spacious, and I can have people over to work out here, and I can finally start filming again. And that leads me to one more thing that I wanted to share that I'm going to start posting in the near future. This will not be every Saturday, but as I'm available, as I'm able, I'm going to start doing live workouts on this channel. And of course, you know that I was selling virtual workouts through my website, michellesbodyshop.com. But I have decided that I'm just going to do it for free here on YouTube, Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. But it's not going to be every single Saturday, like I said, because there are Saturdays when I am just not available, such as this Saturday. I'm gonna be on the river having a great time with some friends and dogs and turtles, and so yeah, no working out for me Saturday morning. But potentially the weekend after that, we'll see. I would really prefer to get my gym finished before I start doing the live workouts. But I'm gonna think on that for a bit, and of course, I think I'm gonna start going live on Wednesdays on a regular basis. So if I decide to do it next Saturday, whatever that date is, I should have looked that up. Actually, I think it's the 15th. Not gonna be able to do the 15th. Just remembered, I actually have a costume event that I've promised a friend I would go to. So those of you that know me, just a fun fact about me is that I love costuming, and I've been doing it most of my adult life. So one of my costumes is Artemis from Young Justice, and I'm gonna kind of be, a character at a toy sale at the Cobb Antique Mall for one of my friends. I think that's where it's gonna be. Anyway, if I'm wrong, I'll update you next week and tell you all about it in case you're interested in vintage toys, because that's where I'll be as Artemis. So that means obviously I'm not going to be doing a live workout on that day. And then the following Saturday, I'm going out of town again. So there you go. It's like something, I'm telling you, it's something every weekend. It's just been a really busy summer in a good way. I've had a great summer. I mean, I can't complain. I love my friends and I love the things that I do. But here's the thing that I want you to take away, and then I'm going to get off here, stop talking your head off, is that despite having, working, a 40-hour week, which I do work from home, so I'm very blessed in that space. I do have an advantage there, but, I do work 40 hours. I don't have kids at home, but I do have a very busy and active life, and do, of course, help with family activities on top of just my social life, and then, of course, my real, actual 9 to 5. But working out is always the priority. Like I'm not saying I would prioritize it over extremely important things. Like obviously I'm not going to prioritize it over my actual job, for example. But you just got to have the mindset that it's as important as any chore you're doing. You can't just decide you don't want to do laundry or take out the trash or go to the grocery store. You have to do those things, and you do them because it'll make your life better and it'll make your family's life better. So if you work out and you make working out a priority, it will make your life better and it'll make your family's life better, because not only will you just live longer, you'll be able to do more. You'll be able to play with your kids with energy. You'll be able to carry all of the groceries in one trip. Because I'll tell you, I'm one of those people, when I go to the grocery store, I would rather just have to carry every single bag if I can, and it could be the hardest thing I've ever lifted in my life. I would prefer that over doing multiple trips. Which is kind of silly, probably not always the best idea. And then sometimes I still have to do multiple trips. But anyway, you can carry your groceries, you can do things that you used to be able to do when you were young and you didn't even think about it. Like getting off the floor. That sounds so basic. I don't have any issues with that. I can get off the floor. I can sit down and stand back up on one leg because I work out all the time. And like I said, I'm just an average, everyday chick. But I can run circles around 20-somethings, a lot of 20-somethings that I know, and it's 100% because of lifting. And, I'll say to you, if you are more interested in losing fat than you are in building muscle, which I really think that you should rethink that concept, but I just want to say lifting is the best of both worlds. You will lose weight. I mean, I really rarely do cardio. I am actually fitting cardio into my life right now, though, because of getting ready for this cruise. So I want to get a little extra sweat in. But, doing even just upper body exercises, lower body, just any kind of lifting that you're doing, you feel the burn in your muscle, but your whole body is burning calories. You can't spot burn fat. You can spot sculpt your body, but burning fat is a full body experience. So if you're expending that energy lifting the weights, you are burning the fat throughout your body, and it's quite effective, especially when paired with a diet that is at least balanced, 80% healthy. Don't try to at least 80% of the time avoid, restaurant food, especially fast food, or even just all the prepackaged garbage food that we have. Try and eat clean 80% of the time. You pair that with some lifting, and you will have, you'll burn fat, and you'll also protect your joints, and you'll also have a nice shaped body. So anyway, just saying, if your goal is just losing fat, that's what I would recommend. And if you're one of those folks that are taking the weight loss, fat loss, the weight loss drug, I don't know, the GLP-1, I don't really know much about those. I know there's a bunch of different brands. If you're one of those people, hey, that's more power to you. but still lift, man. You want to lift. You want to always, the problem with what you see online with the, like what they call the Ozempic face or whatever, is that people are not having enough rich, nutrient dense food. So if you are taking that drug, I just encourage you, the food you do eat, make sure it's high in nutrition and make sure you lift, and you'll be great. Yeah. So anyway, I look forward to doing live workouts with you guys. I look forward to showing you my gym. It's going to be so epic, I'm telling you. I just have so many plans. I've got a bunch of cool stuff that I bought and just haven't really been able to set it up. Like, I've got some awesome lights, I've got some awesome things for the walls, but it just wasn't the right time, and it just wasn't set up in here to do it. But now it is. I'm so excited. Because you know what? If you do set up a home gym, you'll find, if you have a home gym, even if it's just like a very small thing, I've got this 2-car garage, but if it's just like a little small corner of a room, I still recommend that you make it inspiring. So, if that's posters, if that's, a mirror and posters, because sometimes, you want to see yourself working out. If it's, definitely music. Music is key. I mean, I'll tell you, I would get far fewer workouts done in here if I didn't have a great sound system. And I really just have one speaker that has a phenomenal sound, and it sounds like surround sound is so freaking good. I probably will put surround sound in here eventually, but good music that really pumps you up. And I like wearing my gloves. I had them on when I first started this. Obviously workout gloves are helpful for when you're lifting heavier and you don't scrub your hands up. But funny enough, when I put those gloves on, it's almost like it changes my mindset. It's like I'm getting down to work, you know what I mean? So that's part of my mood setting. But making your gym a place that you go into and you just love the feel of it, that is very inspiring for me. So that's why whenever I decided that I would have Michelle's Body Shop, I would set up Michelle's Body Shop, that I painted this on the wall. Of course, it's like the toolbox, meaning like it's the body shop and these are my tools. That was kind of the gist there. And then of course I've got my logo painted on the other wall. Now that I have all this space, I might actually be able to let my other mural be my backdrop for stuff sometimes. But man, this is like a whole new chapter for this channel. I'm very excited about it, and I may have to put off the live workouts until it may have to be after the cruise, which I hope not, but if so, it's fine. As long as I can get this gym done so that, you guys have a cool atmosphere to join me in. And then we'll be doing in the live workouts, we probably won't be using equipment like this because, you guys can't do these workouts with me while you're at the gym, and not everyone has equipment like this. So I'm going to need to make the live workouts, equipment that people have at home. Either no equipment and just body weight, because there's plenty of stuff that can be done with just body weight, and it's especially good for beginners that are maybe not able to do weights yet. But most of my workouts will be body weight in combination with dumbbells, because the difficulty of the workout really depends on the weight that you are using. So I might use a 20 or 25 pound dumbbell, and if you're a beginner, it would be great if you had 5 pounds, if you're extremely beginner, or, you're maybe recovering from an injury. I'm no doctor, so, you can work out at your own risk. But, here in Michelle's Body Shop, I mean, I've got 3 pound weights. I don't necessarily use them, but I keep them, around for visitors, so that people that are beginners can have options. So I've got 3 pounds here, I've got 5 pounds, 8 pounds, and then of course 10, 15, 20, 25. And then from there, if I need a heavier weight, I'll go to my plate weights where I've got 35 and 45 pounds. So anyway, you can do the same workout I'm doing, and it'll be a lot, you can do it to whatever level that you are at. That's all I'm trying to say. Anyway, it was great checking in with you guys, and I will possibly post between now and next Wednesday, but definitely talk to you again next Wednesday. good night. Well, I am pretty sure I want to stop this live, but I don't know how to do it. Don't you love how don't you love how they change where settings are every single time you get an update? It's awesome.